Right, let's talk about health passports or immunity passports. You must have heard in the news recently that the government has been considering to introduce these passports to unlock the country. Now, some people have different opinions on this. Some people are completely pro, some people are against. Now, for those of you who are pro, watch this video because there are two aspects. You've got the international passports, which is completely separate, and that's kind of inevitable, right? Because a lot of governments and countries will expect you to have them already anyway, based on the virus and illnesses. Then you've got the domestic side. Now, that is a big problem, and we're going to talk about this problem that we have created ourselves because Michael Gove, the guy who for years has been fighting against centralization of data and Big Brother, is now considering to introduce them. Weird, because he was very much pro civil liberties. And the issue with these passports, the opposition, is not some sort of trivial libertarian aspects of civil liberties. We're talking about the practical problems that it will create, and we're talking about the precedents that it's going to create that could lead to much worse situation. So Michael Gove is going around Parliament, talking to politicians, trying to convince them to support this potential proposal. The problem is, we have the Labour Party and the SNP who are quite keen. I wonder why. We all know why. Both Labour and the SNP, as left-wing parties, love centralisation. They love big government and big state telling us what to do, because that's the only way that they can manage all the policies, the interventionist policies that they want to introduce. On the other hand, one party has become liberal again, the Liberal Democrats. It's been a fascinating journey with the Lib Dems over the last few years because the Liberal Democrats, they forgot about the Democrat part of their name for a while as they were fighting against the result of the Brexit referendum. And when it comes to liberalism, well, they moved towards socialism for a long time. They still have a lot of left-wing economic policies, but they're coming back to redeem themselves, to oppose two things. One, the extension of the lockdown powers until September, which is nonsensical because if something happens in June and the government has to then extend the powers, then they could extend it in June. Why do it now until September? But they're also opposing these passports. And I'm going to explain why this is a big problem, because it's not a trivial thing when it comes to civil liberties. The issue that we are now facing is the two aspects. As I said, international passports, that's kind of more acceptable and accepted across the world because historically certain countries have had them already, and it's your choice. If you want to get on a plane, if you don't want to go, you don't go. But when it comes to everyday life in your own sovereign and democratic country, if you have to go to a pub to just have a drink and then they ask you for some sort of passport, now again, there's a whole different argument when it comes to these passports. Is it just going to be a piece of paper or a stamp or some sort of card, or is it going to be data? It's the latter, and that's the problem that we have on this channel, and a lot of people who believe in practical aspects of life. It's not just some sort of hippie libertarian thing. The issue where we have is that if we were in a situation where there is a actually deadly kind of case was going around, and there were no other solutions, then fine. You could say the governments are taking extra measures. We know that scientifically, all the experts and scientists and doctors have come out to say that, well, now that the jabs are here, and the virus itself, even before the jabs, it doesn't, of course, infect everybody. A minority will get it, and a minority of a minority will feel obviously worse, and a minority of the minority of the minority will unfortunately lose their lives. So even before the jabs, that was the case anyway. About 97% would be fine. Now, they also said, have confirmed that with the jabs, now that's a whole different topic if you want to be pro or against it, but with the jabs, then people are immune because they get immunity. And it's not a kind of case by case, every single person will still be infected. If the majority are getting it, and they are getting it, then there won't be any rise in cases. There won't be any new infections in that sense just because people are going to the pub. It's not like the situation we had back in last September or with Eat Out to Help Out. You already have the majority of the country taking the jabs. There's absolutely no need to introduce this idiotic thing, which is going to be used on an app. They're going to use centralized data and well, obviously through the NHS and the Department of Health to then gather more information. Now, a lot of people who are fine with the state taking their data have no idea what they're saying yes to. There's one thing about the data gathering, and there's another thing about just being unfair to a lot of people who can't take the jab. A lot of people can't do it. If they have allergies or certain other issues. So what? They're not allowed to go to a cinema or a pub? This is not a society that we should be promoting. Now, on the other hand, the government themselves, officials, are now getting legal advice on whether these domestic passports, the scheme, would break human rights laws. And we know what the impact of that is going to be if they completely ignore the advice. There is a campaign right now against it. I'm going to talk about it in a bit. But the European Union, on the other hand, have completely lost the plot, because regardless of the vaccine, the passport situation, when it comes to vaccinations, they've said that some of them in the European Union are less measured and still believe that Europe will have the last laugh. They've said you might feel very happy on your little island when you're all vaccinated, but your island might feel very small when you cannot leave it because your neighbors are not vaccinated. Well, one, technically, it's true that if you guys in Europe don't fix your mess, then yeah, you guys can't leave. You guys can't come to the UK. And I know that you guys want to come to the UK. This is a tourist destination. I don't understand why they're spinning it, saying that, oh, well, you the UK, have been so successful and your people are now okay. They're all obviously immune. But the problem is, because we created the problem in Europe, thanks to the European Commission, it's your fault. So we're going to be happy and you won't be. I have no idea what is the problem with the European Commission and the European officials in Brussels. On the other hand, Boris Johnson himself, who's come out to tell the country to have fun. Yeah, I mean, he's telling people to go out and have fun now. It reminds me of last summer when they introduced Eat Out to Help Out and then changed their mind. You're encouraging this, but saying, well, you can have fun. Some of you, because the rest of you who can't take the jab or whatever happens, or just refusing to accept the passports, you're not allowed to have fun unless you obey to the state and the demands. Now, Big Brother Watch have started this campaign to say no to these domestic passports, and they again, you could go on their website, check it out, because there's a call to action as well. So they want you to obviously send emails and make sure to support this campaign. Now, this is a big problem that we have. A lot of people have been misled, thinking that well, we have to, otherwise there's no solution. Even if the majority have taken the jab, then if we don't use the passport, if the 1 or 2 people who haven't been vaccinated, they'll destroy the country. That's not how this virus works, and you know it. That's what even SAGE have confirmed. This is not how this virus works. So this fear-mongering should really stop, and this misinformation should really stop, and people need to be more logical and scientific when it comes to the approach that we have to the solution to this problem. Now, on a separate note, Lacey and I on this channel decided to do something new. A lot of you have been asking to bring back the daily vlogs, the regular vlogs that I used to do, showing the behind the scenes and showing you more about what we do and how we do on this channel. We've just created a new channel. We haven't actually posted on it yet. We just did it earlier, and we already have 212 subscribers. I'm going to put the link in the description. It's called Maya and Lacey's Vlogs. So we're going to do regular vlogs and behind the scenes. We don't want to obviously put that on this channel because some people just don't like it. I used to do the vlogs during the first lockdown, and I was talking about politics and cooking sometimes, and some people didn't like it. Some people loved it. So if you want to see more of us, me and Lacey, then definitely check out the link in the description, or just search Maya and Lacey's Vlogs and subscribe to that channel. Thanks again for watching. We're going to have more information later on. 8 p.m. we're going to have another live show for you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching. I'm Maya Tousi, and I'll see you guys at 8 p.m.